Welcome to the Introduction to Google Calendars. My name is Tech Support, your Seeing Eye e-learning evangelist. Today we're going to be covering off an introduction to Google Calendars. So let's get started. In this lesson we are going to learn what a Google Calendar is. We are going to learn when, from the viewpoint of the Seeing Eye system, we need to use the Google Calendar, and in what situations it is better to avoid using the Google Calendar system directly. I'm going to show you how to log in and access your Google Calendar, and after that we're going to explore the Google Calendar interface so that we become familiar and comfortable with it. As an exercise, we're going to change some date and time frame views, as well as show and hide calendars from various people. And finally, we will finish up our introduction by looking at some of the common Google Calendar settings. So what is Google Calendar? It is a free internet calendar service offered by Google that runs online, and you can access it through a web browser such as Internet Explorer. It is very flexible and very powerful, as we will learn in this and future lessons. An individual's calendar can be shared between many people, and conversely, a single person is able to access multiple calendars. I really want to emphasize those last 2 points. So firstly, an individual's calendar can be shared out to multiple people. This is important in our situation where our blind and low vision friends need to share their appointment books with their sighted helpers and the Seeing Eye Support Angels. And secondly, a single person has access to the calendars of multiple people. Again, this is necessary for our Seeing Eye Support Angels to access the calendars of many friends. So the Seeing Eye system is using Google Calendars as the back end to store and manage appointments. So whenever you make an appointment through the Seeing Eye administration website, a client makes a booking through a friend's website, or our friend makes a booking using the Seeing Eye system interface, that appointment will end up as an entry in a Google Calendar. That is why we need to learn how to use this very helpful tool. You may be wondering, when we already have the client administration section of the Seeing Eye website, why is it necessary to access the underlying Google Calendar in the first place? The reason is that not all of the functionality in Google Calendar has been made available to us through the administration section of the Seeing Eye website. So you will need to use Google Calendar in the following situations. If you need to remove an existing appointment, when you need to change the details of an appointment, such as who the appointment is with or the length of a meeting, if you need to reschedule an appointment to a different time or a different day. We also need to use Google Calendar to block out holidays and non-work time from our schedule in order to prevent people from being able to schedule meetings with us when we won't be available. Google Calendar also allows us to easily create recurring appointments. An example might be if you are running a massage clinic and you have a regular client that books in at the same time each week or every other week. By creating a recurring appointment, that meeting will also be created for us each week, and the appropriate time slot will be blocked out in our calendar. And for those people who have to manage the schedules of multiple people, such as support angels, Google Calendar allows us to work easily with multiple calendars. We're going to be looking at working with multiple calendars later in this training video. All of the other tasks will be covered in more detail in later videos. We can use Google Calendar to easily schedule new appointments. But there are situations where we're better off steering clear of Google Calendar and using the booking functionality in the client administration section of the Seeing Eye website. And as it turns out, those situations are fairly common. We need to use the Seeing Eye website whenever we need to make standard one-off bookings. When a booking is made through the Seeing Eye website, it stores additional information along with the booking about the client and about the service being offered. This helps invoicing and payment systems work more effectively. Moreover, the Seeing Eye website prevents duplicate bookings and makes sure all appointments fall within the pre-allocated availability times. So Google Calendar gives you more flexibility, but it also increases the chances of you making an erroneous booking. What this means in practice is that once you use Google Calendar to set up your recurring appointments and block out your non-work time, you will actually be using the Seeing Eye website to make most of your one-off appointments. You will need to revisit the Google Calendar whenever you need to delete or reschedule an appointment, but for the most part, you'll be making bookings through the Seeing Eye website. So here's a summary of what we've learned today. Firstly, we learnt what a Google Calendar is. Then we learnt from the Seeing Eye perspective when to use and when not to use the Google Calendar. We covered how to log into Google Calendar, we had a good overview of its interface, we changed some date and time frame views, we learned how to show and hide calendars for various people and how to look at some common settings. So this is Tech Support saying thank you, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos where we will cover Google Calendars in a lot more detail.